Hello, everyone. My name is Denise, and today I will be talking about the 1902 eruption of Mount Pelee. Okay, to start, I chose this location and this volcano specifically because of the magnitude of destruction that it caused on the people of St. Pierre. The eruption of Mount Pelee occurred on May 8, 1902, on the island of Martinique on the Lesser Antilles volcanic arc of the Caribbean. However, there were plenty of warning signs weeks before the actual eruption. Had the town of St. Pierre listened to the warning signs and evacuated, tens of thousands of people could have survived the disastrous event. Instead, they underestimated the danger of the volcano, listening to various politicians who assumed that the worst that could happen was steady lava flow and that they would have plenty of time to evacuate if that were to happen. Surprisingly, people had actually traveled to St. Pierre from the neighboring cities to marvel at the volcano, despite several feet of ash blocking the city roads. As a result, 29,000 people died from the Mount Pelee eruption. I've included a map of the island of Martinique where you can see the close distance between Mount Pelee and the town of St. Pierre. Mount Pelee is the result of a subduction zone, which is when one tectonic plate slides beneath the other. It lies where the Caribbean plate and the South American plate form a convergent boundary, which is specifically an ocean-ocean convergent plate boundary. Compression squeezes rocks together, causing rocks to fold or fracture, and is the most common stress that occurs at the convergent plate boundaries. Additionally, oceanic crust is often forced down into the mantle where it begins to melt. Magma rises into and through the other plate, solidifying it into granite, which is the rock that makes up the continents. Therefore, at convergent boundaries, continental crust is created and oceanic crust is destroyed. And these boundaries were what formed the Lesser Antilles Island arc. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the geologic setting. As you can see from the photos that I've attached, Martinique is a mountainous island full of wildlife. The highest mountain or the tallest mountain reaches 505 meters, which is the mountain of Vauclin. The northwestern part of Martinique features dense rainforests, mountain peaks, the Mount Pelee volcano, and dark sand beaches such as those in Carbet and St. Pierre, which are darker because of their volcanic origins. So in this bottom left picture, that's what most of the northern part of Martinique looks like. Whereas in the southern part of Martinique, it's drier and flatter with white sand beaches, which can be seen on the lower right picture over here. Martinique is in the archipelago of volcanic zone at the crossing of several tectonic plates. The oldest rocks on the island are 24 million years old, and there are 8 volcanic centers. The chemistry of the erupted rocks implies that the magmas for each of the centers came from different sources. The oldest lava is andesitic lava, which is strong influence from the theolitic magma, which is high in iron and magnesium. Mount Pelee is a 400,000-year-old stratovolcano and was formed mostly by violent explosive eruptions. Okay, so leading up to the incident, a number of warning signs transpired. On January 1902, 4 months before the eruption, Mount Pelee showed an increase in fumarole activity, which are openings in the Earth's surface that emit steam and volcanic gases such as sulfur and carbon dioxide. 3 months later, on April 23rd, minor explosions began at the summit of the volcano, followed by earth tremors. Release of ash and thick cloud of sulfurous gas formed around and dissipated from the volcano. This forced insects and snakes to retreat from the area around the volcano and into the villages where they attack the town's farm animals. Because of this, 50 people died from poisonous snake bites alone. And on May 5th, which is 3 days before the eruption, the crater collapsed, sending scalding water down the River Blanche. Mixing with loose pyroclastic debris created a volcanic mudflow, which has the consistency of wet concrete but moves at almost 100 kilometers per hour. At 7:50 a.m. on May 8th, the volcano erupted, sending superheated gas into St. Pierre in under a minute, killing its entire population, with the exception of 2 lucky survivors. And now I'm going to talk about the aftermath of the explosion. So the saddest part of this eruption is the failure of officials and authorities to vacate the town of St. Pierre and surrounding towns from the impending doom. Subsequent volcanic eruptions occurred on May 20th, 1902, during a relief effort to look for survivors, of which there were none. This eruption killed an additional 2,000 rescuers, engineers, and mariners who were bringing supplies to the islands, and again on August 30th, which killed at least 1,100 people from surrounding towns. The August 30th eruption was the last fatal eruption of Mount Pelee. Fortunately, after these catastrophic events, they learned their lesson. On September 16th, 1929, Mount Pelee began to erupt again. However, this time there was no hesitation from the authorities, and the danger area was immediately evacuated. The 1929 eruption formed a second dome in the Itang Set caldera and produced pyroclastic flows emptying into the Blanche River Valley. Although there were pyroclastic flows, the activity was not as violent as the 1902 eruption that killed tens of thousands of people. The study of the causes of the disaster marked the beginning of modern volcanology with the definition and the analysis of the deadliest volcanic hazard, pyroclastic flows and surges, which are also known as nuits ardentes, or burning clouds. The destruction caused by the 1902 eruption was quickly publicized by recent modern means of communication. It brought the attention of the public and governments about the hazards and dangers of active volcanoes. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you guys so much for listening.